Now, in today's class, we are going to see chapter 3 subtraction. First, we must know what is subtraction. See, look at the example, a small example I am going to explain about subtraction. I have 20 chocolates in my hand. So, I want to give to one of my friend, Sasi. I want to give 15 chocolates to her. Okay, I am having how many chocolates? 20 chocolates. So, I want to give 15 or else 10 chocolates I just want to give it to her. So, you have to find out how many chocolates, the remaining chocolates with me. So, I want to find out how many chocolates with me after I gave it to her. This is what subtraction. That means, so total number of chocolates is 20. I want to give to her, that is 10 chocolates, means the remaining chocolate how much I am having. That is how many chocolates with me. That is the question. So, the remaining chocolates are leftover chocolate is with me, that is called as subtraction. So, we have to find out. So, subtraction means there is different words in subtractions. If you want to find out subtraction, we have to use some clues. That is what means difference, and what is this? You can subtraction, otherwise we can call it as minus. So, the symbol of minus, I will write it on the board. So, subtraction means we have to use some clue words that is called as difference and leftover, remaining. So, these are the words we have to find out for the subtraction. These are the clue words for subtraction. So, subtraction means, that is, what are the clue words for subtraction? That is, first difference and remaining, leftover, how much more we have to add with this. So, these are the words we have to use generally for subtraction. So, again I will repeat. So, I gave the example to you already. I have 20 chocolates. I gave it to one of my friend, that is my best friend Sasi. That is, I gave 10 chocolates to her. The remaining chocolate, how much I am having. So, this is the question. So, how many chocolates with me? The remaining chocolates with me, how many chocolates? So, we have to find out. So, I will tell you 20 chocolates I have. So, I gave it to one of my friend is 10 chocolate. So, the remaining, that is leftover chocolate, is 0 minus 0, you can get 0. So, 2 minus 1, you can get 10. So, this is the example. This is what subtraction. The leftover chocolate, the remaining chocolate is what? 10 chocolates. 10 chocolates, CHO, chocolates, that is leftover. Leftover, or that is remaining, or we can use some words, that is difference. Okay. So, these are the words. So, remaining and difference. So, again I want to give some examples. The same 20 chocolates, I gave it to 15 chocolates, one of my students. That means 0 minus 5 you can't subtract. So, it's a boring subtraction. So, this is ones and this is tens. So, what I am going to do? So, I have to borrow from the what? Tens place. So, how many ones? 0 ones. And how many tens? 2 tens. So, I have to, because this 0 minus 5, it's not practically possible to lesser number to greater number. So, I have to subtract, means the what? Whatever the number, it's in the top number must be greater. That is the borrowing number is always greater. That means, first of all, 20, 2, 0, 1, 5, 15. So, if I subtract from any number, I have to subtract always the bigger number from the smaller number. So, I have to subtract bigger from smaller number. But here, that is 0 ones, that is not enough to subtract. So, 0 ones, there is no possibility subtract. So, it is not possible to subtract from 0 to 5. It is not practically possible from 0 to 5. So, I can't subtract from 0 to 5. That is the meaning. So, I have to borrow from tens. So, how many tens? 2 tens and 0 ones. So, I will write 2 tens and what? 0 ones. Now, I am going to borrow from what? Tens. So, now 2 tens and 0 ones has become 1 tens and what? 10 ones. Okay. So, I have to borrow from 110 is, I have to borrow from 110 from here. that is here 2 tens. So I have to borrow from 1 10 from here. So this 0 becomes, it is 1 0, 0 ones. So this 0 ones become 10. So this 2 tens become 1 10. I'll repeat once again. See, 20 chocolates I'm having. I gave to one of my best friend, or I told you already, I gave it to 10 chocolate, one of my best friend. Here I gave it to 15 chocolate, one of my best student. So what I'm going to do? So 20 minus 15. So first the greater number is 20. We always subtract from greater number to smaller number. So from 20 to 15 we have to subtract. See, this is ones and this is tens. What are the numbers in ones? 0 and 5. Here tens, 2 and 1. So first I have to concentrate only the ones. Is it possible to subtract from 0 to 5? No, because always the subtracting number, that is subtracting number always greater than the what the next number. So which number? This is a second number, this is a first number. So ones place, what are the numbers? 0 and 5. So the top number always, the first number always greater. So I'm borrowing from 0 ones. I'm borrowing from 0 ones. I'm going to subtract, not borrowing, sorry. I'm going to subtract from 0 to 5. I'm going to subtract from 0 to 5. So from 0 to 5, it's not practically possible to subtract. So what I'm going to do? So I have to borrow from 2 tens. So that is what I've written, 2 tens and 0 ones. This will become 1 tens and 10 ones. So I'm going to subtract from what? 2 tens. So I'm going to subtract 1 10 from 2 tens. So this will become 1. This 2 tens will become 1 10. And this 0 ones will become 10 ones. So this is now, it's a greater number. This 0 will become 10 ones. So I'm going to subtract from the bigger number to smaller number. 10 minus 5. So backward counting always. While you're going to subtract, it is a backward counting. So after 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So up to 10 you have to count. The number is 5. So here 1 minus 1 you can get 0. So not practically possible put 0. So just no need to put 0. Just what? Just avoid 0. So what is the number I got? I got 5. Here what is the number? That is 20 minus, this is ones and tens. 0 minus 0, you can get what? 0. 2 minus 1, it's a normal subtraction. But this is a borrowing subtraction. So 1 tens and 10 ones. This is what? This is what I've written. So 2 tens and 0 ones. After borrowing, it becomes 1 tens and 10 ones. This is a borrowing subtraction. This is a normal subtraction. So you have to understand the concept, very important. So now I just want to give a small example. That is what I tell you. So this is what subtraction. Subtraction means you have to subtract from the greater number to smaller number. Suppose the number is a smaller number, means if you want to subtract from the smaller number to greater number, no other go, you have to borrow from the next digit. You have to borrow from the next digit. That is called as a borrowing subtraction. These are the two types of subtraction. Now we are going to see some rules of the subtraction. So we need to find out how many are left. We need to compare groups. I told you already, this is a leftover, that is 20 chocolates. Total number of chocolates 20. So I gave it to one of my best friends, Sasi, that is 10 chocolates. The remaining chocolate, that is leftover chocolate, is 10. That is what? How many are left? We need to compare. So I'm always comparing the groups. This is ones groups, this is 10 groups. This is the meaning. We need to find out how many do not belong to a group. And also we have to find out how many do not belong to, how many do not belong to a group. That means, so the number so we need to find out how many do not belong to a group. This is the second one. So we need to compare groups. Always we are comparing groups. This is very important. This is the first point. And second is, we need to compare groups, because how many ones, how many tens, because it's fully ones group, this is tens group. So we are comparing groups. We need to find out how many do not belong to a group. We also find out how many means how many numbers do not belong to a group. That is also we have to find out. And when we subtract of a number, when we subtract a number from itself, the answer is always 0. When we subtract a number from itself, the answer is always 0. What is the meaning when we subtract a number from itself? That is 14 is a number, so we have to subtract from the same number. Itself means the same number. So 14 minus 14, what you will get? You will get 0. The answer is always 0. So when we subtract a number from itself, that means when we subtract a number from the same number, so the answer is always 0. We will get 0. When we subtract 0 from a number, the answer is the number itself. So again I will repeat, when we subtract a 0 from a number, so this is the number, so I am going to subtract from 12 minus 0, so you can get the same number. That means the number itself means you can get the same number. Otherwise, one more example is 15 minus 15, you can get 0. So 20 minus 20, you can get 0. 100 minus 100, you can get 0. So these are the example of the what. This is the that is what. This is also a rule. This is also a rule 1, and we can consider this is a rule 2, and these are the common rules. These are the common rules. Rule 1 and rule 2 is very, very important. These two rules are very important. So here I just want to give some more examples for this. That is, what is this? When we subtract 0 from a number. So when we subtract a 0 from a number, that means when we subtract 0 from a number, you can get what? The same number. For this I want to give you, that is 18. For example, 18 minus 0, you can get 18. So 50 minus 0, you can get the same number 50. Here 75 minus 0, you can get 75. So when we subtract 0 from a number, you can get the same number, otherwise itself means the same number. That is what they mentioned. When we subtract 0 from a number, the answer is the number itself. So this is the question, and that is 0 subtract from a number, you can get the same number. The answer is same number itself. Same number, same answer, number itself, that means answer is a same number. That is what. When we subtract 0 from a number, the answer is itself, that means the answer is the same number. I think you understand the subtraction rules and also the basic concept of subtraction.